Brighton have been one of the most stunning teams to watch across Europe in recent months and years. Their rise on and off the pitch as a club has been monumental, and they are blazing a trail for how football clubs should be managed. Everything the Seagulls have touched seems to have turned to gold, bar the odd bad result, but that's football.
It's in! Brighton Hove Albion have scored in the Premier League for the very first
In 2000, Brighton were playing in the 4th tier of English football. In 2010, they were playing in the 3rd tier of English football, and now they're taking weekly scalps in the Premier League and are playing in Europe. The rise of this team has been meteoric. In the 2016-2017 season, Brighton gained promotion to the Premier League from the Championship, and in the 2017-18 campaign, they would defeat the likes of Arsenal and Man U, finally finishing the league season in 15th. They haven't looked back since then and have gone from strength to strength. Chris Hughton was the man to lead Brighton to the Premier League. The former Ireland international managed the club from 2014 to 2019 as they reached the promised land of English football and solidified their Premier League status. Like it tends to do, second season syndrome did hit the Seagulls hard, and they just about stayed in the league by squeezing into 17th place come the end of the 18-19 campaign. The writing was on the wall for Hughton, and Graham Potter took charge at the helm of the club. The ex-pro had shown his managerial credentials with Östersund in Sweden and then briefly at Swansea. Brighton pounced. Many at the time might have felt Hughton's departure was a harsh one, but in the following seasons, Potter's appointment was essentially vindicated by a clear progression on the pitch and in the league table too. Brighton came 15th and then 16th in the league, but improved their points total on Hughton's last season. Then, in 21-22, they jumped to 9th. It was a historic top half finish for the club, so much so, head coach Graham Potter would soon be poached by Chelsea. And whilst all of this was going on, off the pitch, the club were earning a reputation as shrewd movers in the transfer market. Sure, they had employed great coaches, but some of the players they brought on were diamonds in the rough that the big clubs had clearly missed out on in the market. Unknown players from Africa and South America would help turn Brighton into the European side they are today. As the club consolidated their place in the Premier League, the likes of Alexis McAllister and Leandro Trossard were signed. Both of these players have since moved on to bigger things in the form of transfers to Arsenal and Liverpool, where they will be hoping to win trophies like the Premier League and Champions League. But that wasn't after seasons of being key players on the South Coast. Last season, Alexis McAllister shone in the midfield and was the club's top scorer. He became a World Cup champion with Argentina and earned a €42 million move to Liverpool. Trossard went to the Gunners for €24 million. Big profits were made on both players, and that has helped Brighton to make more signings in the recent window. Some will call them a feeder club, but Brighton's growth has not been halted by its sales, only aided. In the years following, key signings were made that turned into even bigger sales again. Marc Cucurella was brought in from Getafe for €18 million and sold on to Chelsea just a year later for over €65 million. Moises Caicedo made the same move not long ago. The Ecuador international signed for Chelsea for a whopping €116 million after signing for Brighton for just €28 million 2 years before. Brighton brought in talents like this, let them shine and move them forward, and then sold them on for ludicrous profits. In doing so, Brighton have become a European quality club that look fit to take on any team that steps in their way. In September 2022, Brighton made another key signing, a manager who, like some of their players, was a little bit unknown to most, Roberto De Zerbi. The Italian manager was once a youth player at AC Milan. He spent 4 years at Napoli and had various spells at other clubs, resulting in a career spanning 15 seasons with over 50 goals in 259 senior appearances. It wasn't until De Zerbi became a football manager that his stock began to rise though. As head coach of Sassuolo, De Zerbi managed to lead the relatively small club to back-to-back 8th place finishes in Serie A. Only goal difference separated the side from European football, and they were praised across Italy for their fantastic playing style, the same possession-based, build-up football that De Zerbi plays with Brighton today. After his role at Sassuolo, De Zerbi went to Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine. He left the club after the Russian invasion, but his side were top of the league and had won the Super Cup. Brighton had done their research on the young Italian coach, and on October 1st, 2022, he managed the Seagulls for the first time in a terrific game, a 3-3 away draw at Anfield. That game against Liverpool was a sign of the entertaining football yet to come for Brighton fans. They keep reinventing themselves with new faces and new tricks. Despite big departures, in the summer, De Zerbi is looking to build on last season's incredible 6th place finish, which now sees them going toe-to-toe with the likes of Marseille and Ajax in the Europa League. De Zerbi has got the best out of the likes of Solly March and Pascal Gross, who seem like elder statesmen given some of the youthful talent on the Brighton squad. One of the revelations of the Premier League this year, in fact, has been one of those, Irish forward Evan Ferguson. At just 19 years of age, the big number 9 looks like he can take on and beat any centre-back. He has an amazing eye for goal and can also provide fantastic build-up play. Brighton have already beaten the likes of Newcastle United and Manchester United this season, and new names are being made apart from Ferguson too. Simon Andingra and Carlos Baleba shone against Liverpool in a 2-2 home draw, whilst the likes of Mitoma, Enciso and Estupinian will be sure to continue last year's stunning form. So, can Brighton better last season's 6th place finish? How far will they go in Europe? And will Roberto De Zerbi prove to be one of Europe's top managers in the future? One thing's for sure, this club have went from nothing to the top of European football. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.